my accounts listed in the 2010 Daily Companion. Someone obviously had auto insurance, so that's what I acquired this from. And the 9th of September, I kept dreaming of cats up on a glossy black surface. I don't know, it's September, maybe I'll think of something else to do with cats, right? Like I did last year. There was no group pre-dawn prayers. At least for me, I mean, I'm not sure whether or not. So 11:55 to 12:30 a.m., 12:35 to 10:30 a.m., 1:35 to 3 a.m., 3 to 4:20 a.m. So I kept dreaming of the same thing over and over again. I listened to Bikthal Quran Surah 8 and 9, and at 10:15 p.m. I went to return home. And on the next day, the 10th, I listened to Bikthal Quran Surah 10 and 11, J.D. Hall, Jews 1 and 2, Vetavir, representing success, was a scent offering I made. Now, in a house of worship, or where other people are, you got to be, well, one, you don't want to harm your health. You want to protect, you don't want to involve yourself in an undue fire hazard, like these people with the ritual circles outside, where they just make a circle on alcohol and light it on fire, and at least to start with, and stuff like that. One should be careful with your. Anyways, I wrote out Surah 3, 8, 140. Scribed patterns with the, I watched Healing the Luminous Body, The Way of the Shaman, illustrated by Renee Christine Yates. I read Fairy Wicca Tarot, page 1 through 54, 1I through XII. Was there more to that book? I see Wicca as sort of a watered-down, disguised form of Satanism, but it can be a vehicle that transmits mythology. And if I headed home, the 10th was obviously the holiday. And some people will say 3-day holiday, and other people, whether or not it's the holiday or not, the initial part of the 10th month of the sacred year, people will celebrate things on other days, because they can't schedule into the park or that sort of thing. I mean, it's not that they don't observe their holiday prayers, but, in honor of the holiday, they meet, like, on the weekend if it's in the middle of the week, or in a couple weeks, or something like that. But any celebration on September 11th that year or another year had nothing to do, as far as Islamically concerned, with what happened, 18 years ago and a day now. I mean, 10 times the American soldiers more have died. So the bigger tragedy was fighting the war. But anyway, so page something. Okay, that would be page 53 to 113. The patterns, the Sleep Studium Al-Ghani, Surah 13. Listen to Bikthal Quran, Surah 12 through 13. J.D. Hall, Jews 3. Meditated with the J.D. Hall, Jews 29. 9:34 to a.m. to 12:50 p.m. So I guess I fell asleep, right? So I wrote out some passages from the Bible here. I wrote out Surah 60, 8, 61, 8, 2, 190, 2, 205. I watched Healing the Luminous Body, The Way of the Shaman. So Matthew, Mark, Luke. Oh, nothing from John. Samuel, Ecclesiastes, Debrim is that, Dubber is number, so that maybe is Deuteronomy. Oh, I should know this. Okay. So on the 12th, I watched Alberta Valadia's PhD featuring paintings by Alex Gray. I listened to Pickthall Quran Surah 16 and 21. Oh, 31. J.D. Hall, Jews 4 and 5. I discussed the Mabon trip with the next door neighbor. I guess maybe in page 114 to 168, Fairy Wicca Tarot. I was using spreads. Scried with J.D. Hall, Jews 30. 1:11 to 1:46 p.m. So I guess I was home, or is that 7:11? On the 13th, page 186. Is it that little booklet, or did I check out a book from the library? Because I don't have the Fairy Wicca. I don't have a bigger book for it. I discussed the trip with the neighbor again. The Tree of Trees spread was one I was practicing with that deck. You know, an oracle deck or object or something teaches you a mythology, and randomizing it gives you insight of how it works. You don't have to worship everything on the cards and all that other stuff that you may think is associated with the tarot. Mabon and beyond. Okay, I meditated with J.D. Hall, Jews 30, 11, 34 a.m. to 12:22 p.m. Oh, a J.D. Hall 6. Okay, I'm listening to that repeatedly for some reason. It's the end of the Quran, so I watched the Alberto Veladero PhD featuring paintings by Alex Gray. On the 14th, I wrote the following. I wrote out in the following fairy cards. Okay, the Tree of Tree spreads. So things, it's a good brainstorming tool, and sometimes you want to take notes about, what you're coming up with and the connections that you're making while weaving these themes together. Listen to 4 of 5, J.D. Hall, Jews 7 through, well, maybe I was listening to it instead of just meditating through it. I read I through XV and 1 to 31 of Donald Tyson's Divination Rune Dice. And on the 15th, I kept watching that program with Alex Gray paintings. I'm not sure the DVD works anymore. But I had the DVD, so I'm not going to feel bad or anything about watching it online or something. And read page 32 to 82 of the Rune Dice book, Tree of Trees spread. Error 2:52 to 3:35 p.m. I wrote out numerology of the element cards. I listened to Pickthall Quran, Surah 33 to 35, J.D. Hall, Surah 8, Enochian Vienna. Ends Vovden. okay, maybe some ritual in Enochian that isn't your standard rituals. And that will happen when you study things as at least a voluntary effort. You figure out other things that can be done with the material. Certainly my arrangements in the Goetia is, it does have that structure, but it's like, do you really have to have, list any, in any of those traditions, is there ever a ritual where you have all the verses of any version of it in one place? I'm not sure if that's the case. I can't think of anything. I watched The Sacred Mysteries Presents Healing the Luminous Body, The Way of the Shaman, Sleep Siddhi Amdogani Surah, 9:19 to 9:28 a.m. Oh, maybe it's the Tablet of Air. Kion. Yeah, Enochian. Oh, okay, I've jumbled it. Enochian Key 6. Okay. Okay, that's, anyways. So on the 16th, the Alex Gray program, Pickthall Quran Surah 37 through 40, J.D. Hall Jews 9 was what I listened to. Tree of Tree Spreads was the Fairy Wicca Tarot working, meditating through the themes, right? Enochian Key 7, 5:45 to 6:06 p.m. It will be the 12th key when I get back to sleep. Or maybe I don't get back to sleep, but hopefully I get back to sleep for the rest of the morning. After this, page 1204, so the end of Surah 29 with is it the blue Quran or is it the big black one? I wrote out Teen and Usi, so that would be the fire or the wands and the water cards. Is that it? Surah 41 through 48, Pickthall Quran, listen to that. Jews 10 of 30, J.D. Hall. That's an English translation only with the J.D. Hall. Alex Gray 3. Okay, I watched that program. I again watched the Alex Gray program on the Saturday, the 18th. And I wrote out, what did I wrote out? I watched the last half of the BBC Celt's Legacy with the Neighbor. Okay, and I discussed the Litha Lunasa Mabon. So that would be the summer solstice, the midway point between that, not the week before the midway point, the midway point between that and the equinox. And I don't know if I'll have an equinox trip or ritual or something, but so page 125 to 172 with the rune dice book, cinnamon scent offering representing wisdom, Enochian Key 9, 7:35 a.m. something p.m. 1:07 p.m. Oh, maybe it was 7:35 a.m. and then I was asleep till 1:07 p.m., which is fine. Don't ever be afraid to fall asleep during your rituals. Well, I mean, maybe if you're in a public and it's not safe, but you know what I mean. Listen to Pickthall Quran Surah 52 to 61 and J.D. Hall Jews 11 of 30. And on the 19th, I read page 173 to 204 of Donald Tyson's Rune Dice Divination. At least every couple, the visual pages, try to have your ritual journals or your spiritual journals or something in a condition where if the page is all that's seen, that it stands by itself. you're going to want things more understandable than me with my um, writing problems because of the autism we're going to have. The Holy Mountain Spirit Walk spread. So I switched the spreads. I guess I learned the tree spread, which, if it's anything like the Tree of Life, it's, it would be something I would have learned pretty quick. But you reach a certain feeling and you move on. You try to build up on something else. If you're not doing something for your life, that's, as a whole, I'm going to do this every day for the rest of my life. A lot of that stuff is just something. Do it. Learn what you're going to learn. Experience what you're going to experience. Move on to something else. Path working is very important. The Way of the Shaman. Watch that again. J.D. Hall, Jews 12, Pictol Quran, Surah 63 through 67 through 77. And I again watched the Alex Gray illustrated program on the 20th. Oh, Healing Sounds. Oh, maybe I was watching different parts, because about 10 days in, might decide to watch a different program that seems what I'm doing, because those DVDs have extra features and stuff. I'll listen to Pictol Quran, Surah 78 through 98, J.D. Hall, Jews 13, some sort of burnt offering. Again, protect your health, protect your property. But a burnt offering's nice to make on occasion. It's like, okay, how am I going to get rid of this? Oh, I'll make it an offering. But don't make offerings disrespectful. But I read through page 1218. So it had to be 3860. Okay, that must have been the big black one, right? And on the next day, 1300. Okay, no, I listened to the rest of the Pictol Quran, so 99 through 114, J.D. Hall 14, Jews 14, Sleep Siddhi Abdul Ghani Surah 3. I meditated with the Enochian key, the 12th Enochian key, so that's what I'll be doing today, right? And that was 5:24 to 6:18 p.m. I wrote out the helper card, sign factors, significators, did the Holy Mountain spread, the Spirit spread. I watched that same program, the sound principles of sound healing, rune dice divination, page 205 to 256, secrets of Shangri-La. And the 22nd, 12/28, the end of Surah 34, that Holy Quran, I watched Principles of Sound Healing, Holy Mountain Spirit Walk Spreads, Vedavir Scent Offering, Commanding, J.D. Hall Jews 15 and 16, Ekankar, I listened to Sharia Ki Sugmad 1. I now have book 1 and 2, so eventually I'm going to say something, but right now, twice a year, I'm going to do, several programs, and then maybe I'll go back to the books and do something that's not there, because, again, I want to make sure that I have more to say and more to respond on that group than any, and this other group that I've started responding to, I got the book, so every little principle on that thing, I can probably get a response video talking to somebody or something. Anyways, Surah 2, 23, 964, 986. So I was copying that out so I could at least read the ritual. Sleep Siddhi Abdul Ghani, Surah 17, 114. But let me show you very briefly here. See, that is one of the best sets of commentary that I have, that volume right there. But it might be better just to buy a set narratives in a little book of the Dua Kamel, rather than spend the level of price that you have, and you'll do better buying, like, I don't know, even that translation of the Kafi. That's like $140 or something like that. That's probably a better buy for your learning. But as time goes on, I'm gonna at least comment on all these books I have, and that's what I'm going to do with this channel. My own experiences, my own interpretations. Obviously, there's going to be old books that I'm going to share that are, there's not the danger with the copyright rights and stuff, and there's the religious freedom, so I'm commenting on stuff. So there's a little bit more leeway with some stuff that I have to say. But on the 23rd, was there actually a... Oh, maybe there wasn't a Mabon trip, or was there? We'll see. Read to page 1236, so the end of Surah 32 of that Quran. Listen to the Sharia Keys Sugmag, Book 1, Chapter 2. I watched The Principles of Sound Healing. Listen to J.D. Hall, Jews 11, Bedivere, Scent Offering representing psychic protection. Now, it isn't the herbs, it isn't the symbols and stuff that protects you. It's your own practice of it, and, of course, God or whatever spiritual entity that decides to involve themselves. You don't have to worship anything. But, okay, I read and discussed decided something with death. I wrote out 924, 927, 1038, 1113, 24:1, 47:20. And I tend to say 48, 10, and 18 with that. 2:32 to 2:46 p.m. Enochian key 19, or call 19 properly. Vumd is call. Author 30. I made sets of rune dice and Sleep City and Abdul Ghani Surah 29 through started on there. Yeah, I found I cleaned them, of course, for multiple reasons. One, to the free box at a yard sale or something like that is not necessarily something clean. If it's something that looks like it can be clean, just clean off of the blocks and leave them. And I mean dry them, of course. So you had they're plain wood dice, and I did give out a set of that, but the best ones were the ones that were yellow, green, red, blue. Yeah, that was a neat set to have. I don't think I have a full set anymore. And on that Friday, read to page 1281, so the end of Surah 33. I watched The Principles of Sound Healing, J.D. Hall, Jews 18, Holy Mountain Spirit Walk Spread with the Fiery Wicca Tarot. I listened to Shariat Ki Sugmad, Book 1, Chapter 3. You can really listen to the whole thing in a day. 6 hours isn't that bad to combine with watching and listening. Principles of Sound Healing. I watched it this Saturday too. J.D. Hall, Jews 19 and 20. One of the reasons for watching repeatedly is to get the material. And it's like my ritual, my pentagram ritual one. I would expect if it hasn't been done already, that somebody to learn an Aramaic full cosmology with the demons and the heavens and the hells, to lay it out as a cosmological ritual, or whatever their intentions may be, that they would watch a program like that repeatedly. 20. I went to the Saturday night lecture at Masjid An-Nur, probably. yeah, if it doesn't say anything specific, it would have been Masjid an-Nur, but there were about 20 other masjid or masala to go to in the Portland, Vancouver area. 366 Celt, A Year and a Day of Celtic Wisdom and Lore by Carl McColmany, I to X, page 1 through 39. Oh, I didn't remember at the time whether I read that book. I kept it in pretty good condition. Those books kind of... A lot of books nowadays tend to warp. That's, I mean, I'm not spending an extra $20 for a hardcover, but it's one of the nice things about a hardcover. I'll even get a used book rather than a new one that kind of warps on me. But, well, that's not really my decision. I don't think that's why it's going. For 3:23 to 4 p.m., Enochian Key 19, author 16. The first higher self, so. But then you go on, whether you're going from 30 to 1 or 1 to 30, there's something else. So after your higher self, what is you're going to do? But there's beings, I guess, that can help you, and you encounter, you have that experience that uplifts you, but it's not your higher self. It's like, they call it the Holy Guardian Angel, or it's various things that you can call it, but it's a interesting type of experience, even if you never encounter a spiritual being as part of it. We have Edge Eclipse Center Offering representing regeneration, Holy Mountain Spread, Sleep CD on Abdogani Surah 7, and I'm not going to finish September. Sleeps Thee on Abdogani Surah 26 on the 26th, which is interesting. I listened to the Shariat Key Sigmad, Book 1, Chapter 5, J.D. Hall, Jews 21. I watched the Jonathan Golding's Healing Sounds. Enochian. I mean, it wasn't that long of a DVD. I could have watched the whole thing through. Enochian Key 19, author 29. Which has an air feel to it, even though it's on the Earth tablet. I read page 40 to 93, 366 Celt. And I use Circles of Existence spreads with the Fari Wicca Tarot. Tarso Quran's end of Surah 34. I feel like it might be switching back and forth. I don't know, but I don't think I am, because that's 1200 something. Yeah, that's a bit. 2:06 to 2:19 p.m. 3:09 to 3:18 p.m. Oh, different Enochian keys. So the first one would be the second Enochian key, the second meditation, the third Enochian key. Listen to J.D. Hall, Jews 22 and 23, Shariat Key Sigmund, chapter 6. 442 times with the 2112 1424 chant at Bermelin scent offering, instilled and dedicated. So it's a very, you get those cinnamon burns. Just get a cinnamon burn if you want a symbolic object to wave around like a wand. Just buy yourself a cinnamon burn. I do not recommend the there's a couple ones that are just completely artificial and not hypoallergenic, but the apple, orange, cinnamon ones are okay. The lavender one, the lavender one's garbage. It doesn't really smell like lavender. Well, there's different companies and stuff, but again, don't feel like you have to spend $30 for a broom or something like that. And anyways, I think that's part of the reason why the abramelin oils and stuff don't sell as much anymore, because you can just buy a cinnamon broom for out of the clearance, or even not out of the clearance. It's not too much, less than $10 wherever. I watched John Goldman's Healing Sounds, Circle of Existence spread, sleep CD on Abdulghani Surah 79, and on the 28th, I Circles of Existence spreads, Enochian Key 19, Author 19, 3:23 to 3:54 p.m. J.D. Hall, Jews 24. I listened to Shariat Key Sugmad, Book 1, Chapter 7, the J.M. Rodwell translation of Quran, Surah 3 to Father. Yeah, on a yearly basis, at least we would go over a Quran translation. Read page 94 to 147 of the 366 Celt book. On the 29th, okay, sound healing. Okay, yeah, watch principles. Sound healing again on the 29th, 149 to 148 to 201 of the 366 Celt book. I listened to Shariat Key Sugmad 1, Chapter 8. You know, there's 12 chapters to each Shariat Key Sugmad. Sleep Seed and Abdulghani Surah 4. J.D. Hall, Jews 25. Circles of Existence spreads. I want to make sure to show the pages. That's part of the reason why I'm doing these videos, is I want to preserve this for later. And perhaps somebody could figure something out that I'm not figuring out. See, this is the chant that I was saying. Enochian Key 5, 5:43 to 5:55 p.m. Something spreads. Watch the Healing Sounds, Circles of Existence, and that is where I'm going to stop. But so we have Ah, Oi, Kikli, Ode, Om, D, A, Ko, Kasip, D, Yuron. And I don't know what to say other than